Hi, everybody. It's Tammy Langowski with Tammy's Channel Chats. Thanks for viewing again. Much appreciated. So I am an intuitive advisor to your questions, working with clairaudience, clairvoyance, and I just come on and give a little channeled message. If you're interested in ever having a session with me, you can reach me through tammy'sintuitive.com, my website, and also I have channeled messages on my Tammy's Intuitive Services Instagram and Facebook pages. I also have another YouTube channel with Julie Hawkins, another fellow intuitive, and we are called Two Psychic Moms, number 2 Psychic Moms. And by the way, we're going to be doing our first live Facebook event on September 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can best probably jump on that on Facebook through my Tammy's Intuitive Services. I will share it to that, or the Biz Psychic or the Biz Psychic Facebook pages. So anyway, just want to get that out there. So today I was, opening up again. What are we gonna mention? And I do invite comments, questions to this channel and to this channel, literally, and the channel, so that I can channel something for you in response. So don't be shy. Send me philosophical questions, anything that you want a little, tidbit on. So these are meant to be like 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes they run over a little bit. Today, I was getting the subject of humility, the act of being humble. And that was a subject that was kind of given to me from my guides. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of just open up to them. I just tune into their vibration. I've been doing this for over 30 years. It's pretty quick for me now when I can just kind of tune in. But at the beginning, it took some time to learn, the process of that. So don't give up on your meditations. You do talk with your guides. Your guides talk with you every day. Okay, so let me just open up for humility, guides, the act of being humble. Okay, maybe that's why they brought it up. They said, why are you asking us? You know about humility. They said, it's important to you. And they're talking to me, which is true. So probably that's why they gave me the subject of humility and the act of being humble. And it's interesting that they say that, because I do know that many years ago when I had an astrology reading, she was looking at my chart. She said, one of your biggest lessons is about humility in this lifetime. It's going to be very important for you. Not so much just even, well, in both ways, for myself to be humble in a sense, but also it might be an effect of like hoping that other people are in my circle, in my world, because, and that is really true for me. Anyway, we'll go into that. So my guides are kind of, it's funny, they're leading me to talk about some of the things I feel as part of what we're channeling. They said, okay, I'm going to start with them on humility. It's certainly something that everybody has, they're saying, but not everybody exercises it. And the act of being humble is a sacred place to be. I actually like that. I like that they said that. It was them, not me. I give them credit for anything I said. I like that. It really is about knowing when to be able to speak about something that helps others, and when to hold back on some things that might not feel good for another person or resonate for them. So we would say, in your daily practices and going about your daily routines and your daily conversations you may have with others, please be cognizant of other people's energy and where they are at their place and in their life. I love the saying, know your audience. And sure, have we all probably said things that maybe, we should have thought twice on in front of somebody else that might not be an uplifter for them, but might actually bring them down. The act of being humble is discerning, about what you deliver to other people and what you talk about. So they're showing me examples of, if there is something that you're wanting to be happy about and express of something that's happened for you, that's fine. Because we also say, please understand, we're not asking you to dim your light. We're not asking you to dim your light, but to be aware of who your audience is that you're speaking with. if you are going to talk about something that, happened to you, or a situation you're in that, is really great, do think first about who you're speaking this to. Is this somebody that maybe would really love to be in that position, or to have those things, or whatever it might be? Because yeah, you can look at it one way, you sharing that with them, if it's coming from the heart and it's really good, it can be something of hope for the other person, right? If nothing else, that maybe that other person might take it like, wow, that's really great, maybe someday I can create that for myself, or I can have that, or I can do that, or whatever it might be. But we say often many people are not in that situation. So the recipient of your message, be careful, there's a sign, because that other person may not be in that situation, or be able to open up to say, oh, I'm just going to accept this as like a hopeful energy, and hope that I can have that. The last thing I know that I ever want to do is make somebody feel badly, or to make them feel less than by something that I'm saying, or I'm talking about, or bragging about, or whatever we would call it. Okay, so the act of being humble, there are ways to be able to what did we try to say, guys? Because I'm stumbling on it. To express it, I guess, is what I would say. But we say first, pay attention again to who is hearing it. If it is something that you really think, is this what I'm about to share with somebody else? Is this going to empower them? Is this going to somehow be a benefit for them, or can they relate to it, is what we almost want to say. Can they relate to what I'm talking about? Or most importantly, if what I'm about to share, or say, or act, or do with another person, and I know they're probably going to feel some emotions that are not so great, whether it's going to make them feel less than, or envious, competition, ego. In other words, right? That it might not be exactly, something that will resonate well with them. Then think twice about it. Our guides are saying, think twice about sharing that. Know your audience of who you're talking with. There might be other friends, other groups, other social groups that are in alignment with where you're at in your life, or the subject you're talking about, that will embrace it and totally get it, and be sort of on the same level of that. But if you know innately, and a lot of us might know that what I'm saying, or even as you're saying it to somebody that you don't want to bring somebody down. I mean, we have to check in with that. So our guides are saying, be careful of the ego within ourselves, because sometimes we may cover it. That's not the word I'm looking for. Masquerade it in a way that we think, oh no, we're just sharing something lovely that that either we've done, or whatever the case may be. But knowing all the while that it just may not be something that resonates with that other person in a positive way. And actually, we have to ask ourselves, are we disempowering them so we feel a little bit more powerful? Is this coming from a place of true ego and feeling like we want to win? And so we would say again, just be careful of the words that you speak, and to know who it is you're speaking with, how it will be accepted. And if you are trying to uplift somebody, there are ways to go about doing that to help them feel that they have, something of benefit. I think we all have examples of this kind of thing. And I know I've learned from that myself, whether it was a vacation I was going on, and granted, this other person did ask me about what's going on. I shared this, but they were not in, I guess I will bring it home and talk about this. They were not in a position to be able to go on vacations. So what good is it, honestly, for me to really share that information, unless it's a situation where they know you're going to be gone, and obviously you have to tell them that you're going to be somewhere. There's pieces of that it makes sense to say things sometimes. But honestly, I did kind of learn from that. I learned not to, and I was not bragging. I can honestly say it was not coming from an ego place of bragging. I was sharing. But at the same time, know your audience. In that case, I wasn't knowing my audience, and I wasn't thinking about what the repercussions could be. I saw sort of the look on this person's face, and I thought, lesson learned. Makes me sad thinking about it. Again, it it doesn't mean you're dimming your own light of things that you're doing that are happy. But honestly, if you don't need to talk about certain things, unless it's really they need to know somehow, then if you know that person is not in the same situation maybe that you are, and it will only make them feel badly about their circumstances or their life, then refrain. Maybe they're not the audience to speak to about that. One could say, well, that's their own problem. They need to work on their own energy. They need to start doing things and believing that they too can have those things. I would agree with that. But the point they're saying is that not everybody is in that situation, at the time. So just think about it. Okay. So the act of humility, it is to be humble and to learn to speak with grace and to take other people's feelings into consideration. It is wonderful to accomplish things in your life and to maybe have certain things in your life and all, but honestly, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people, or they're just not there. I hate to bring the abundance of money into it, but a lot of times it can be about that as well. So be humble, they're saying, be grateful, be humble, and not everything needs to be shared. And if you are sharing, make sure your audience will be uplifted in a positive way or can relate to what it is that you're sharing. Sometimes, again, it will need to be said in certain circumstances because maybe the other person needs to know about things going on or something. Even then, they're saying you can approach it with kindness and gratitude and come from a good place on that. So I hope that's helpful. That did come in, and it was interesting circling back to when I got that that information about in my astrology reading about this humility piece. For me, I was surprised by it. I'd never heard of that. I've never really heard of or thought about it. But as my life unfolded, it made a lot of sense to me. And I just think that we need to be caring for other people. And so check in on the ego, check in on your intention of speaking, whatever it is that you're sharing. And kind of just echoing again what we said earlier, that we just need to be aware of maybe how this is going to impact the other person. We want to uplift our fellow beings, our fellow friends, our family members, whoever it might be. We don't want to make them feel terrible and feel like they're missing out and gosh, I wish this or that. There are ways to approach it when things need to be said. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that has some meaning for anybody who is watching this. So again, I'm gonna leave it with just that. We're gonna make this one semi-short. Don't know for sure. Don't have my glasses on at the moment. How short it is. But again, thank you for viewing. And if there is any questions, any topics, anything like what we just talked about, a subject kind of thing, then please do send them to me, and I'm more than happy to check in with our guides and see what they have to say on that. Okay. So thank you so much again for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks. Bye-bye.